This channel is always in support of TOR, Tails, privacy, security, so that's why I thought this would align perfectly with AVI. I made a video on Kubera a couple months ago about just spam all across. I mean, both in my comments section, in my messages, in the spam filters, and I don't mean 1, 2, 5 messages, I mean hundreds. So much so over the past couple of days that I decided, you know what, on that fateful December morning, I'm going to make a video today. It's going to be about deep onion, and it's not going to be the most pleasant one. It wasn't horrible, but I did definitely reflect my opinion that I was frustrated with the community. A couple short days later, it seems the problem was fixed. A lot of people apologized to me. Moderators and some people from the development team reached out to me, and they said, listen, sorry about that. We're going to improve our marketing. Our project is nice. And I actually really liked that response. It was nice and professional. So, without further ado, let's dive a little bit deeper into this. But I'm going to get... I don't like being outside, so we're going to head back into the bunker. I think I got a little dirty. Whoops. Hey, one of the most important things in life is privacy. We can all respect that. So today we're going to be chatting about the privacy-focused cryptocurrencies. The main ones, I guess, would be like Monero, PIVX, Verge, and of course Deep Onion. And there's a couple others. However, let's do a comparison. Monero, it has an infinite supply. That means it's kind of like Ethereum. You're able to always make more of it. Same with PIVX. So eventually, the price, it's either going to plateau or it's going to be encouraged to falter a little bit and fall down unless there's constant updates or there's some crazy speculation going on. Right, so those are Monero and PIVX. The other one, Verge, 16.5 billion max coin supply. 16.5 billion. The easiest way to realize why billions of tokens out there is a pretty bad example is, let's say you own 1 million tokens and that's only worth $10. Now that's a pretty extreme example, but all these coins have to start from somewhere. It's just not attractive, and these small little bits play a very important role long term. Deep Onion has a circulating supply of over 12.2 million onions right now. The total supply is 19,878,955 onions, and the max supply is 25 million onions, but it won't reach that if there's staking involved. So right off the bat, in terms of token metrics, Deep Onion is at 12 million, Monero is approaching 15.5 million, Verge has 15.5 billion circulating supply, which is huge. Out of the max supply is 16 billion, so that's just out of this world. So we're comparing that. Of course, Deep Onion has 3 airdrops remaining, so it will increase its circulation a little bit. But to give you a comparison, Bitcoin has 21 million. Out of that, I mean, it's never going to be 21 million because people have lost hundreds of thousands of Bitcoins, and there's been hacks and just random stuff has been going on, and that's why the max supply for a lot of these coins will never be reached. For those of you who are curious why there's a difference between circulating supply and total supply, that just means circulating supply is all the tokens except probably the vested coins of the founders or some that were bought out by hedge funds, depending on what happened with the ICO. But that's the interesting thing. With Deep Onion, it never had an ICO. It was an airdrop, which there's a lot of airdrop projects which failed. We really don't hear about these projects that have lost a lot of money. Hopefully the audio is a little better now without those waves. Now, why is that? A lot of these airdrops, unfortunately, get dumped immediately. So some of these went completely unplanned, where they're just like, oh, here's all of our tokens given away to a bunch of addresses. Do what you want with them. Essentially free money. It can be free $10, free $100, whatever it is. People get this random token. They don't know anything about the project. They don't really care because it's free money, but they can't cash it in. So the only thing they can do is sell it and then get Bitcoin, Ethereum, and move on and never look back at the project. That is horrible marketing. That is a really, really bad lack of strategy. And that's why most airdrops unfortunately failed, where you saw millions of dollars literally just go left and right. And here's something that Deep Onion was able to successfully do. They did 40 weeks of airdrops, which there's 3 more remaining. I mean, minus this Friday, really, so that's why. They actively encourage users of the forums to kind of participate in the community. Hey, if you're holding on to some onions and you want the token price to rise, you want more people to find out about it. So we're going to incentivize you to kind of spread the word, market. Now, unfortunately, a couple months back when I released that spam video, the domination tasks went a little awry, but since then the moderators have learned, and there's been plenty of YouTubers where the moderators in the community responded really positively. When I joined the forum, a lot of people actually gave a good response. They weren't like, yo, you made a bad video against us. It wasn't bad, it was just pointing out something that needed to be fixed, and there's plenty of companies out there that would freak out. They'd be trying to take down the video, and that's where they'd be wrong, because then I'd make more bad videos about them instead of fixing the problem at hand, which would also help everybody else around it. So the community is pretty active. They're listening to their members. One interesting feature was Deep Vault, where you're able to authenticate and register files on the blockchain. So that was kind of cool. Reminds me of like a little crypto mega upload, I guess. By the way, in terms of piracy and the darknet and all that, Deep Onion does not support that. However, as with any other cryptocurrency, I mean, there's just nothing that can be done against that. You can't punish cryptocurrencies and the developers behind them, though, just because 1% is doing something illicit. I mean, that's like going to the federal government and trying to shut them down and the treasury because, oh no, there's some people who are selling substances and rewarding themselves with US dollars. So suddenly let's burn all the US dollars. No, that doesn't make any sense, right? Any currency that actually has some value to it and provides something more useful than the previous cryptocurrency will most likely catch the eye of a lot of these tech guys, right? Especially if they're sitting on the darknet and they're trying to evade the police because of some crazy stuff. Well, no wonder people started switching to Monero from Bitcoin. But recently there's been news that Monero's ring transactions, well, they weren't so anonymous as everybody thought they were. And that was the same thing with Bitcoin, where at first everybody's like, oh, Bitcoin's anonymous, but it's traceable. I mean, it's harder to trace than a bank wire, but not by many steps. And then Monero is kind of like the step above that. Anyways, technically it's really difficult to remain fully anonymous. I don't think there's a 100% chance of that ever happening because the NSA will always be trying 24/7 round the clock to catch you, so that's why you shouldn't do crime. However, for the average user who just wants to remain private, that's it. They want to send some money, they want to purchase something, they don't want their address and their nodes public information, as with Bitcoin, where there's a website that one of the developers linked me to. You go to this website and it has like a map of all the people running nodes, and that's just the craziest thing to think about, right? You have thousands of these addresses, which definitely the government's looking at. That's one of the most important things that a lot of these guys in the cryptocurrency community, they're paranoid. They don't want to be a part of that. So they see something like that, they want to move on to something better. For the ones who are concerned that the current project isn't enough, then there's also DeepSend that's being worked upon. There's constant wallet upgrades to kind of accommodate the new members and make sure that everything's running smoothly and efficiently. They're hiring more developers to try and improve upon whatever fields that are really missing right now. Vote Central is a feature that's coming out that a lot of members are excited about. So if you hold a certain amount of onions, you're actually able to participate in voting what the community will do next. So hopefully it betters Deep Onion and everybody has a kind of say in the community, I guess. There's additional e-commerce plugins coming out. Right now there's a couple of them. I don't know about debit card, although that might be a possibility, who knows. Smart contracts, zero knowledge proofs. So for people who don't understand what a zero knowledge proof is, the simple explanation: Sally wants to tell Zach something. Let's just call it value X. The only thing that Zach will discover is value X and no information apart from that. Zero information proofs. Simple explanation. So the price right now is pretty cheap. As of making this video, it's at $1.41, where a lot of these tokens fell from, you know, like $10, $15. In this case, its peak was, I think, 18 or 19 or somewhere around there back in December. So yeah, obviously we're seeing a major crash with everything. It's not just Deep Onion. Ethereum's now approaching $300. It is a crazy bear market, and it is extremely testing to a lot of new individuals. However, with this, I mean, you got to remember, we were approaching $1 trillion
billion for now. We're lucky if we can scrape by $200 billion. The institutional money will come on later this year, most likely, and the ones who wait on, well, they'll make the most. A really cool feature, as was mentioned a little bit earlier for a split second, was the fact that you can stake these coins. So let's say you got 100,000 onions. For the first year, it's going to be 10%. So you're going to get 10,000 extra onions. Then it's 5%. Then they'll figure out a value, which that's like a masternode pretty much. And it's a good thing that they're reducing the value, because the value of deep onion should go up, as it has since it's been released. So anyways, that is as much information as I will go into today. My name is Mike, or Avi. If you're interested in the project, check out the links down in the description below. I'll be talking a little bit more about this project. It mainly focuses on TOR, and as you guys know, well, TOR is one of the main important things, where that was one whole other aspect I probably should have thrown in. Yeah, it's pretty much running through TOR, so your public IP address, I mean, technically, yeah, you're able to discover it, I guess, but for the average person who's not engaging in any illegal means, it is much, much more secure than, let's say, just sending one Bitcoin to another wallet. So yeah, definitely a cool project. Thanks so much for watching this video. Hopefully you enjoyed the rest of your day. If you enjoyed it, please leave a like, comment, subscribe, and share. Maybe you're somewhere really nice right now, or if you're somewhere cold, where, hey, start thinking about where you want to go by the end of this year, because there's a lot of opportunities available. Let's go full out, and really, whoever's sailing on that boat right there, dang, I don't know much about sailing, but I'd want to give it a try. Anyways, see you guys next time.